Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today, I figured I'd kind of play with the idea of super fast and loose landscape videos. Kind of just throwing something else into the mix. So here, I have a sheet of Canson hot press. This is 100% cotton. It's 9 by 12. But I'll paint it to about 8 by 10. So it'd be about those spots where the mat would go. I'm not going to fully saturate this, because I just want to kind of experiment and play around with the concept of just like a super fast landscape. I'm going to start off with some raw sienna. We'll make this up as we go along. I do have some photo references on the side, but I don't think I'm really going to utilize them down the line. I think it would be fun to have photos and do quick impressions of them. So, let me know what you think down below in the comments. What would you like to see? Also, how is this view? Are you getting enough view of the mixing tray? If you want more view of that, let me know. Okay, this is ultramarine. I'm going to bring that down below just in case I want some water down here. Whenever I do imaginary landscapes, I have a tendency to kind of do whatever I'm doing above, kind of bring it down below just in case. This is that raw sienna again. I want to shape out some land. What I'm doing right here is flattening out the paper. Since it's absorbing that water, it's stretching. So I'm pressing the clip, pressing it down, and flattening it. All right, let's see. Why don't we grab a little bit of alizarin, feed that in, bring that down. It's kind of a spontaneous painting. Looking at it, I'm just bringing to the edges just to it's a habit of mine to paint to the edges. You almost have the effect of kind of a rainstorm right there, so I think I might roll with that. And by going along with that, I'm going to take that alizarin crimson and mix it in with some Payne's gray for a storm cloud. I'll feed that in here. And take that kind of a shadow effect here. Okay. Now I'm going to look at my horizon line. For that, I'm going to take light red oxide and mix some ultramarine in. I use this as my far distant purple. Going to kind of cut this off a little bit here just because it seems a little too abstract with the placement. Mix a little bit of burnt sienna in, kind of just pulling that off. And let's do kind of a hedgerow here. I'm having a little bit of a hard time flattening this paper out, getting it to stretch. I think because it's the hot press, it might not be gripping the board that well on the underside. Okay, Now I'm going to grab some burnt umber and some ultramarine. This has kind of been my go-to dark lately. And this is kind of putting that dark in there for the foreground effect. And I may put in tiny trees in the midground and the background to kind of just get a better sense of depth in this image. So I'm all about kind of like just playing around with this channel and growing it and whatnot. So if you have any suggestions or what you would like to see, let me know. And if this is something you'd like added to the rotation, kind of these really fast and loose, wet and wet impressions of a landscape. Also, of course, I would love for you to consider supporting this channel by simply liking and subscribing. Also, I do have a Patreon account that is linked down below. I have two simple tiers that are really affordable. So if you'd like to support the channel, check that out as well. But simply, like I said, liking, subscribing, commenting really helps a lot. And your feedback is important. Here I'm taking the Rigger brush. I'm just mixing it into that dark and kind of feeding it wet, wet back here. Kind of thin lines. This is going to give me, hopefully, that far distant effect of a tree line. And I could come a little bit closer, kind of space out my objects here, get them a little bit more definition, and that could help with that illusion of depth as well. And it's wet and wet, so they're nice, going to bleed and disperse. Just little illusions of little groupings of trees. You even do some tall ones. And we could even take that same color and then do blades of grass. It's kind of all just coming down to linear perspective with these, with just kind of the relative size between the two. Do a little bit of grass right here. That was above, coming down below. And since we are wet and wet, I'm going to do a dry off, and we'll maybe put some birds in the sky, and then we'll put them out over it and see what it looks like. So let me pause that and dry it off real quick. Oh, after all these years, my blow dryer has finally given up the ghost. So I'm gonna have to get a new blow dryer. So put that on top. We'll see how we are if we're in frame. Yep. I'm gonna use just a fountain pen with some platinum carbon ink in it. And put birds in. Of course, you can use the Rigger brush for that. We'll find out where we want to sign it. I'll put my name right in here. So, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know the different type of content you would like to see. I think that these are kind of good for not only warm-up exercises, but kind of loosening myself up. And then from there, I can do the wet and wet and then paint on top of it and get the contrast between the soft and the harsh and the dry brush effects. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good day.